The experiences you're after are just outside of your comfort zone. But if your nervous system is stuck in high alert, the odds of you reaching that experience are going to be much slimmer than they would be otherwise. It seems like you're left with two options: either stay stuck or just white-knuckle it and push yourself through the fear. What if I told you there's actually a third option? This is the one that I always offer to my clients. And today I'm going to walk you through this third option and how it plays out, especially in the context of asking a woman out, so that you can start using it to expand your nervous system, not just re-traumatize yourself. If you're new to my work, my name's Courtney Shand, and I love helping highly intelligent men embody that natural sense of confidence that comes when you start owning your experience and making decisive moves. And this has everything to do with the information that your visceral system is providing for you. I talk a lot on this channel about the idea of a cognitive system and a visceral system. Really, it's just the distinction of how our nervous system processes information. And what we want ideally in order to take decisive action is for the thoughts that we're thinking to be verified by the information that our visceral system is providing for us. So for example, I think I'm really interested in this person, and our gut says, yeah, go for it, we can handle this. But what usually happens for my clientele is that there's a disconnect in those two systems. And what that will sound like is, I'm really interested in this girl. She's so intriguing, she's attractive, I'm really interested to move towards her. But the signal from your nervous system is either full panic or shutdown. Either way, this is really challenging to move through because it's only using one source of data. And whenever we only have one source of data, this is why people say that they are overthinking things. It's usually because they're not connected into the data points that they need to actually feel good about the decision that they're making. So when they say they want to just trust their gut, what they're actually after is to feel like the decision that they're thinking is a good one lines up with their experience of reality. Like I said, you've got two options. You can stay where you are and not make any changes, or you can catapult yourself outside of your comfort zone, white knuckle it, and just hope that you survive while your insides are absolutely screaming. Or the third option is my favorite, which is to actually experience what it is that's going on for you so that you can move through it in a way that creates integration and expansion in your experience, instead of stacking even more fear on the experience that you're already a little bit nervous about. So imagine the same scenario, but you showing up completely differently. This means instead of pushing through the fear, you choose to stay with it and actually feel it. And each time you try to make it mean something, that she hasn't responded to you, or she didn't laugh at your joke, or it's been a couple minutes since she last texted you back, you choose to treat everything as data. This is what allows you to stay neutral and curious than needing immediate answers so that the feeling of agitation can go away. Each time you trial something new, you build capacity for the next time, instead of building more resistance and more proof why it's not going to work. This is what allows you to reduce the resistance that you need to get closer to that edge of your comfort zone and start expanding the boundaries that you've been playing within. And even if she decides to opt out, you realize that it's a choice for her, not a rejection of you. Your visceral system is taking in all of this data, and the more that you practice it, the more it starts to learn, I can handle this, which means the next time you show up in this situation, there's going to be less charge for you to navigate. Because at the end of the day, it's just emotional energy and sensations. It's not the hard and fast truth. And the more you can see it as data and learn how to interpret it correctly, the easier time you're going to have navigating experiences like this in a way that help you feel gradually more and more confident within yourself. This is why the way that I work with people includes both somatic strategies so that you can start to learn how to process the energy as it's coming up in your body, as well as distinctions so that you can start to tell a new story, reframe some of those old limiting beliefs, and also create a little bit more distinction in words that you usually throw around but actually cause you to have this visceral response. When you have correct language for it, you naturally show up differently, more empowered, more in your power. And this is why it's so important to mix the two together. And this can look like before you reach out to her, before you text her back, before you ask her out, before you say anything on the date, to really just take a breath and be with the sensations that you're experiencing in the moment. Notice any stories that are coming up for you and really allow them to be present. The more you're able to allow this information to bubble up and to actually sort through it and be with it, the less it's holding you back and taking bold action. This is what allows you to make not only really grounded decisions for you, but also take more decisive action, which is going to allow the woman across from you to relax in your presence, because you're demonstrating that you trust yourself and that you can take decisive action when you need to. And maybe that means during a date, instead of thinking, does she like me? Did that joke land? Should I say something different? You start thinking about how you want to navigate the conversation with her and start to co-create and allow it to feel more like a dance where you're able to respond to what she said and put forward your actual opinions. And then after the date, which I would say is probably one of the more challenging experiences that the men in my world navigate, is understanding how to stay present with the sensations and tension that come up in the uncertainty as this connection unfolds. Because when you're able to be with the emotional tension of uncertainty and continue to stretch it out and really hold it in your body, the experience that it creates for her is one of deep safety and therefore attraction towards you. If this is the right person for you, it's going to allow her to feel even safer in your presence and that you can be with her response, whatever it is. This is a really great time to go watch the video about masculine presence that I brought my actual boyfriend on here to do. We did several of them and I'll link it here because there's some really great practices and distinctions in that video that I won't get into here. Because at the end of the day, the difference between building confidence and re-traumatizing yourself isn't the number of times that you put yourself out there. It's how present you were able to stay while you were doing what it is that you were doing. Because every experience can, and in my opinion, is meant to teach you something. It can be an opportunity to collect proof that new experiences are dangerous or that you can handle it. And the reality is you get to choose. The work, if you choose this third option that I'm presenting, is to learn how to stay in your body, challenge the assumptions that come up for you, and let the experiences integrate as data instead of storing in your body as shame. That's what builds the capacity that leads to confidence. Not being tied to a specific outcome, but trusting that you can handle whatever comes next. And this is what we help men do inside of the rebrand. We get in there and deeply rewire the nervous system patterns so that you're no longer misfiring on the visceral side of things or misinterpreting the signals from a cognitive perspective. When these two pieces sync back up, you naturally start to exude confidence and decisiveness and masculine presence because that is who you are. And because you're operating from a state of congruence at your depth, the right people will be naturally attracted to you. This is when dating gets to be really fun and sexual chemistry becomes a natural byproduct, not something that you have to apply strategies or tactics or say the right thing to create. Building confidence has never been about the tips and the strategies, or that would have worked by now. It's about fundamentally shifting the position that you take within yourself so that you naturally show up from a place of grounded authority. And this only happens when you're willing to be with the tension that arises in your body in the meantime. If that's something that you want some support around, again, this is what we do inside of the rebrand. I would love to have a conversation with you about how you want to get started with this work. There's lots of ways that you can plug into this type of work, whether it be one-on-one work or a self-study course. We'll be able to figure that out together in a discovery call. I would encourage you to go ahead and book that, and I'll put all the links that you need in the description below. I'd love to hear from you. What specific situations do you find it most challenging to stay present in? I'm happy to do some content around those specific challenges. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next week.